What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So let's go through a quick update to show you guys what's happening with Terra Luna Classic right now, as well as talking about kind of this burn tax scenario, this proposal parameter change that could be a thing. Obviously, it's always being turned down or voted against, and I'm a huge fan of the burns, right? Because I talked about this. If you want to check out my previous video, feel free to go and talk about it because it's a whole entire conversation on whether burns are necessary and necessary for the Terra Luna Classic community itself or necessary overall. Are we seeing burns as a major part of cryptocurrency right now? And the short answer would be yes, we are. So if we were to see this 1.5% burn tax or 1.5% tax with a 1.2% burn tax and then the 0.2 that goes to the community, would we be able to see an impact that does effectively burn down the supply of Terra Luna Classic and can get us to a level to where we feel normal, back to where we were, and we can take some profit, we can be a part of it long term and see what it could be ultimately at the end goal of $120 back to some of those highs, and completely make it deflationary up to a certain point until the repeg does come back. And now you have the repeg, the algorithm, the support, the build of the reserve, right? All of that stuff that's in place. So let's talk about Terra Luna Classic, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links that are down below. If you guys want to sign up for Margex, feel free to use my link that is in the description where you can start trading on up to 100x leverage. But let's talk about Terra Luna Classic. It currently stands at, it's down 11% on the day. We did see a lot of things that were falling in the day. The overall market's down by about 5%. So it's definitely taken a little bit of a hit. You see that Terra Luna Classic is at a 0.0001773 price point, and we're seeing a $1 billion market cap. Now we're also seeing a $300 or $400 million volume day. And if we can see that as kind of that new normal, we can definitely get a sense of exactly how much we can see in a burn, right? Burns have a factor in two different ways, on the CEX side and on the DEX side. As we look at the DEX side and what's happening on chain, that's basically anything that's happening through the station wallet. And if we can see any type of factor of that by being able to buy on the station wallet and going through those transactions over there because it may be cheaper, you go ahead and do that. And we might have a 1% taxes associated with it, which honestly wouldn't be bad. It would be an impact to where we can now buy directly on there in order to stake. We can buy directly on there in order to support other businesses and DApps and stuff. And that would be big for Terra Luna Classic overall. But we see that we have this total supply, which is 6.8 trillion coins. The circulating supply is about 5.8 trillion. We have about 1 trillion that is staked and out of circulation. Now, the current price is at 17.69, and I'm going to round down and just show it at a lower level of 17. But let's go into a little bit of a spreadsheet. Now, this isn't a full spreadsheet. This is just a little bit of makeshift artwork that I had here. So typically what we see, let's actually go back really quick. Typically what we see within the volume, as we look at this volume that happens, we usually see somewhere around 1% of that ends up going through DEX volume. So 400,000 out of the 400 million that we see through there will go through that. That's not a lot of money. We would love to see a lot more, but on the DEX side, it just doesn't make sense because there's no reason to do so. There's no reason to do that. And you can't just trade to get out of the position. So most people are trading on the CEX side. If you can find a way to buy and sell over on that platform, over on that area, it could be a different story. If they had their own, I honestly think that this is a good idea. If they had their own swapping system that, you can take some of the community fund and build it with, kind of like a Uniswap or a Shiba swap or something like that, you can now have your own volume that happens through there, meaning you can implement a tax if you want to and have that burn. I don't understand why that hasn't been a thing, why we haven't implemented like a larger Uniswap feature that goes into there and has its own benefits with it as you see that, and has its own implementation to the station wallet, right? If it's implemented there, then you can have the connection directly there, buy, swap, do whatever you want directly on there. And you have your own exchange per se that you can see that majority of volume there. Now, I believe swapping is there, but it's just not to the level that you would expect to see it swap with multiple projects and multiple coins. So currently, you only have a few that are created on the Classic chain. But if you had that way of bridging or connection to the Classic chain with other projects, it would be big. But it's different with something like a Shiba swap, which honestly you can have multiple projects on the Ethereum network on there versus Terra Luna Classic, where you only have a certain or a select few of them. But anyways, let's get into the spreadsheet and understand that. So currently, like I said, it's 400 million. I wanted to use 300 million, but let's use 400 million and exactly what we did see there. If we use $400 million and it's $400,000 worth of volume on the DEX side, on the DEX side, that would be about $4,800 or 28 million coins over a daily burn. If we look at the overall rest of the market, that is $4.8 million or 28 billion coins that you can burn off daily, which would be 10 billion coins or 10 trillion coins in a matter of a year, right? In 365 days, that would be the case. So if we found a way to effectively burn every single bit of the volume, 1.2% of every single bit of the volume, we would be able to burn down majority of the supply, being able to find a way to support USTC and eventually repegging it to a certain level. And if we wanted to include minting in there eventually, so say we don't want to burn USTC transactions and Luna transactions. We only want to burn the Terra Luna Classic transactions. And while while USTC does have 9 billion coins that are there, you now can see that you can effectively recover USTC in the end by supporting it with this, with what you have for Terra Luna Classic and what you've built with Terra Luna Classic. So it could burn off the entire supply in a matter of a year. Yes, the 1.2% just on chain will not do that. It will only be 10.3 billion within the year, which is definitely not enough. And it would take hundreds of years for that to end up happening, maybe even thousands of years for that to happen. So obviously you would need that impact off chain. So we could do that. We just have to stay to the course. We have to stay on course to make sure that we are talking to these exchanges and telling them the reason why we want them to implement the tax. It's not because of greed purposes. It's because of recovery and survival purposes. And that's the reason why the chain wants to do this. And I'm sure they would adhere to it if it comes directly from, the people that are kind of making these changes, that are developing these changes and maintaining these changes, because that communication here to there means the world to the rest of the community to know that you guys support a 1.2% burn tax. It has to come from the people that are doing something, building something within Terra Luna Classic, right? Within that Classic chain. And if it doesn't come from them, it's not massively supported by the community. And I think we need that support. Again, I've stated that I'm for burns. And if we see these burns, we could see a massive amount of supply that burns off, all of the supply that burns off, and we can get back to normal, the normal that we saw before, which was, Terra Luna Classic at a level of 40, 50, 80, $100 or so. And the algorithm back in place and USTC repegged. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this down below. Also, make sure you check out any of the links that are in the description for my Patreon or for Twitter. Feel free to check out that. And also, if you want to sign up for Margex using my link, that will be the first link in the description. Guys, I'm going to get out of here and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.